Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, I certainly wouldn't be doing as much videos as I do. But I want to thank each and every one of you guys for all the support. Now, I reported earlier about Sean Lee, and I kind of messed that up a little bit because I said that he was going to be out. It's actually a game time decision for him. Although, in my mind, with the pulled hamstring or sore hamstring, that you may want to sit him regardless because that's one of those injuries that lingers, you know? It's not like a hamstring immediately gets better quickly. It doesn't. And it's one of those things that once you aggravate it, it's real easy to keep aggravating it and make it worse. And that's where you look at a guy like Owuzi. It's basically stunted his growth this season because he hurt it in training camp and has never been quite right. You know, he got out there and he's re-aggravated it. He's back practicing this week. But again, once you hurt that hamstring, until it heals, it's going to be a problem. So it may be in our best interest to go ahead and say, okay, Sean Lee, let's do it without you for a game or two and have you for the long haul than to try and push it and lose him for the long haul. Now we got Justin Durant who will be filling in. We got our fullback taking some reps and stuff at linebacker as well, who used to play linebacker himself before. Now one of the questions I heard from some people is, what about Darrell Washington? Well, let's go ahead and see about signing him. Well, replacing Darrell Washington for Sean Lee is not apples to oranges because, true, he is a linebacker, but he's basically an outside linebacker, which is more of a pass rusher. So technically, he's more like a defensive end than, say, a middle linebacker or a weak side linebacker like Sean Lee would be. So that's not really the answer for what we have right now. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of great players that are out on the street because there were great players, they wouldn't be out on the street. They'd be on a team right now because there's not a lot of great players. And believe me, everybody's looking all over the place to try and grab guys to fill holes. Unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast. I mean, you look at the Eagles. They've lost Fletcher Cox this week. So you just got to have that next man up mentality and hopefully fill in. The key for us, of course, will be our defensive line. If we can get a lot of pressure and stuff up front, it's going to make that much easier for Justin Durant as well as our cornerbacks. And going against the Rams, you'll hear that they're the seventh rated offense in the NFL, and that they've scored more points than anybody else. Now, what I'll say is that is true. But some of those numbers are skewed a little bit because when you play the Colts and the 49ers, you're going to get a lot of easy points. And when you start getting way ahead on those teams, it's just kind of like they give up anyway. So I'm not ready to say that they're the seventh best offense in the NFL. Not yet. Not till they play some quality teams. So I look for them, our Cowboys, to be going strength against strength. Clearly, the strength for the Rams is the running game with Todd Gurley, and that's where we've been really, really good, is at the point of attack. So hopefully, we'll be able to shut that down, put some pressure on them, get the quarterback making some mistakes, so we'll be in good shape. Now, one thing I think might be a wise move is Jourdan Lewis. 2 weeks ago, Jourdan Lewis was basically put into the fire. He's another guy that missed a lot of training camp and stuff because of injuries and things. But he played pretty well in his first game, even got an interception. Well, he ended up playing a lot of more valuable minutes this past week and did pretty damn well as well. And I'm thinking that you definitely want to look at getting him more and more time on the field because, I look around, we got Nolan Carroll who's back at practice this week, but hasn't really shown a whole heck of a lot. You got Orlando Scandrick, who's got a hurt hand. You got Byron Jones, who is consistent. We got Jeff Heath that's back there. We got Anthony Brown, who's been a little bit up and down this season. I'm more apt to say you do most of your learning on the field, actually playing, trial by fire. Get him more time on the field. I don't think it's going to be a big step back from the guys that we have. In fact, I think each week he's going to get better and better and better. And that also brings me to Xavier lays the wood. I'd like to see him on the field more too. Because for whatever reason, you have some guys that just always seem to be around the ball and are playmakers, and that's Xavier Woods. I know he was a late round draft pick, because of his size and things like that, but you look at the amount of interceptions, you look about the game-changing turnovers that he's been able to make, those hits that fire up everybody. I'd like to see him more and more on the field out there because I think he could truly make a difference on this defense. So when we look at the Rams offense, I still think they're overrated because when you play the Colts and the 49ers, you're going to get a lot of points. I don't think either of those teams have very good defenses. We'll see what our team has without Sean Lee if Sean Lee doesn't play. So hopefully we'll get a win. I'm hoping that's not a foreshadowing from Joe Boo. Hopefully we'll get a win and we'll get ready to play the Packers the following week. So we'll see what happens. So as always, friends, I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Joe Boo, and I got to get back to my workshop. I got some more work to do. I will see you guys soon.